Engineer 775 here. What are we doing? Sarah, what's going on?
Picking some cherries.
My daughter Sarah is picking cherries. These are Montmorency cherries. It's two things that we love off the farm, and that's cobblers, blueberry cobblers, and the cherries come in first before the blueberries. So we're taking advantage of the cherries, and we'll be showing you inside how we prep these to make put these cherries in. Basically, we can them, put them in a sugar sauce. And you tell I'm not a cook, I'm just a farmer. Anyway, Sarah's picking away, and we're gonna show you next how we can these, and then we use them later on to make awesome cobblers. So this tree is getting unruly. It's getting real tall, and but it's got quite a few cherries on it. You have to get the extension ladder to get these, and then later on, pretty soon, we're gonna have blueberry cobbler, my favorite, and our blueberry bushes are turning into blueberry trees. See, the blueberries are coming. They're getting there. They're getting there. We got 3 of these that really put out. They're about 12 foot tall, and they have really produced. We get about 15 gallons a year off of our blueberries, and we freeze those. And blueberry syrup on our pancakes, and blueberry cobbler is good stuff. But we're working on the cherry tree now. Montmorency cherries. And rumor has it these are the cherries that cherry tree that George Washington would have had. And we'll have to do a little research on that. All right, Sarah, how you doing?
Doing good.
Doing good? Okay. Let's go see what your mommy's got cooking.
Okay.
All right. What do we have going on here?
Cherries came early this year in South Carolina. So we have Elijah went up the tree, and he is making the light syrup. I don't know any really good recipes for cherry preserves. So right now I'm pitting, and Elijah is stirring and getting ready to heat.
Lori's pitting. Elijah's stirring. I mean, Superman. What are you making, Eli?
I'm making
Sugar soup.
Sugar soup. And you're helping?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And we got to put that on the burner, Sarah. So because you're older, you're going to heat that.
What are we?
Also over there is the jars in the water bath. They are getting ready to boil. They have to be sterilized. And so they're going to be in the water for about 20 minutes.
20 minutes. Sterilizing
So
the jars that are rolling boil. And Sarah, what are you doing?
Making the sugar thing.
Making the sugar thing, okay.
Sugar syrup.
What kind of cherries are these?
These are called Montmorency cherries, and I have heard some historians say that these are extremely old cherry from France, and that most likely General Washington, who later became our first president, had them at his home. And certainly I would think that Thomas Jefferson, being the man who loved plants like he did, might have them at his home as well. These are the original sour pie cherry that have been around for generations.
Well, there you have it, folks. A little history lesson and a little cherry preserve. Are you making jam, or are you making...
Today we are canning cherries in light syrup. The reason being that most of the people that I work with like cherry cobbler. We're in the South.
And so does your husband?
Yes, he does too, with a little bit of ice cream on top.
Mix.
That could be, yeah, that's good too, Elijah.
You want ice cream on top?
Yeah.
9, right?
Okay, is that...
That's it for right now.
Hey, I could take those and gasify those and make some fuel off of these cherry pits. Cherry pits are awesome. I just got to dry them out.
Most people rather take the cherry pits and they dry them. They wash them and they dry them, and they put them inside of fabric. They sew a little pillow out of them, and they can be microwaved for about 15 seconds, and they're really good if you have a sore neck or sore muscles or anything else. They microwave it.
A hot cherry compress? What?
Yeah, the seeds will heat nicely. Once you wash the rest of the stuff off of them, of course, you wash them, you dry them really well, and then you can put them inside of a little sack that you sew, and you can microwave them, and they become very, very soothing. They can form because they're like little beads. They can form if you lay them on a knee. Maybe you've injured playing basketball or something like that. And they're useful too. Just don't eat a bunch of them at once. They have high amounts of cyanide in them.
the pharmacist prepper. Let you see. Okay, I guess we're gonna go
For a little while.
I guess we're signing off. We're gonna add to this.
Yeah, we'll add to this when we actually can the cherries.
Okay, very good.
Very
All right.
good.
Da-da-dee-dee-da-da. Good. Well, that'll be about.
You'll see that the syrup is now at a boiling stage. You see those bubbles? It's very stirred up here, boiling, just at a real nice low boil. The water, on the other hand, is boiling rapidly. The jars have been in there for 20 minutes, and so we are now going to take this syrup. You can see that we have already put the cherries in here. They are raw, and you want to kind of just give yourself a little bit of space at the top. This is a light syrup. This is 2 cups of sugar to 4 cups of water.
What if you're right-handed?
I guess this is all backwards then. You want to make sure that your area that you're going to seal is nice and clean. You don't want any sugar on it. So you just kind of give a little wipe all the way around. And then these are lids. They're fresh lids. You always use fresh new lids every time. And I have poured some of the water that was boiling over there over these. You let them sit for a few minutes to soften their seal, the rubber seal that you see here. You don't have to dry them. You just set them in their place. You can see that I sterilized more jars than I needed. I didn't know exactly how far it would go. It's just always kind of a guessing game. And then you take these screws, which also boiled with the jars for 20 minutes. So they have been sterilized. And screw them on. The purpose of this part is to hold that lid until it seals, and that actually happens after you pull it back out of the bath. I am now going to put these back into the water.
But not this one.
That's right, not that one, Elijah, exactly.
Why?
You obviously want to have, most books say a whole inch of water over them. As you can see, I'm pretty close to the top here. It certainly is enough to definitely cover those lids with quite a bit of water.
Want to put another jar in, even though you don't have full?
Well, if I do that, the jar won't take up that much volume. It's got to be a full jar. But I'm fine with this like this. It's close enough, and I can certainly take this water, which is pretty hot, and pour it back in. It won't mess up my boil too much. And at this point, because as you can see the water, I don't know if you can see looking in there, you see the air bubbles at the bottom, they are still coming up, rising and breaking. So we are right around 210 degrees. It's a boil at this point. And so I am setting my timer for 25 minutes. That is got a little bit extra time built into it, 20 minutes actually for a pint jar. Which these are pint jars, but I like to do a little bit over because it won't damage the product inside, and I will overdo on my sterility, and that way I'm always sure that I've got a product that is not going to hurt my family. If you want to know where I get this information, there's tons of canning books. This happens to come from this particular book, which is in print and has been in print for a very long time.
Whoops, yes you can see. Who are you looking at?
Mommy.
Mommy.
So look for it.
No. Okay.
And there is a canning section in here. We just went over the canned cherries. No, you don't necessarily know how to do this. It's not all, you know, genetics or something. You just read the instructions. Okay. And in 25 minutes, we're going to pull those jars out, and they will be done.
Very good. Say goodbye.
Goodbye, Daddy.